Hello and welcome back to the Footballing Question podcast. You've joined us for another England match reaction. England have just drawn 0-0 with the USA, our second game in Group B. Not a very convincing performance. Isaac, what are your first thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting you come to me because I'm naturally the more negative out of the three of us. But yeah, I'm not exactly happy with the performance yesterday. Starting off the tournament in the fashion that we did against Iran, and then to just pull out that, no attacking threat whatsoever. We're lucky to escape with a point. And the fact that it's the USA. I'm sorry, we let them play better than us. It's not the fact that they dominated us. We let them, and it's just, God, it's just awful.
It seemed like a typical Gareth Southgate performance. Let's look at what all their strengths are. Just focus on that, completely concentrate on that, and don't let some of the best attacking players in the world that we've got on our team actually express themselves in the slightest. Jordan, what did you think after that horror show?
It was bad. But at the same time, I'm sort of in a mindset where we are consistently bad in at least one game in every tournament. You look back at 2018 and it was Tunisia. I know we won that game, but we were awful throughout the 90. You look at the Euros, Scotland, it's similar to this game, probably could have lost the game, just were bad. I think it was bad. It was a bad performance, but I'm not overly concerned about it really having an impact on our chances going forward in this World Cup. Yes, changes need to be made, but again, like I said, we were consistently bad in at least one game. It's not a good thing, but I don't think it really will have a massive effect on the rest of the tournament. I think we beat Wales. It'll be a tough game, but I think we beat Wales. And yeah, I think no matter what happens, we're going to be in the round of 16. So, once it gets onto those knockout rounds, it's just luck of the draw, really, isn't it?
When you think about it, in 2018 we had 3 bad games, possibly 4. Tunisia, Belgium, Croatia, and then Belgium again. So that's 4 in the tournament, and we still got to the semi-finals. So I see your point, and yeah, with the Euros as well, Scotland wasn't very convincing. So I do understand. However, you don't see Brazil. You don't imagine Brazil are going to have a game like this, do you? You just don't. You don't see it. You don't think they're going to drop the mark on a team like the USA. So, to be honest, I'm frustrated. We've done this before, but I know it just proves Southgate's weaknesses a little bit more. And it was just horrible to watch. It was so boring. We just didn't get to see the enthusiasm that we had against Iran. And I think one major point is Foden didn't get on the pitch. I'm to Foden. Yeah. Why wasn't he there? We needed creativity. We needed someone to open up the play, and he just didn't get on board. Do you boys think Foden should have played at least?
100%. I don't understand. Not only should have Foden got on, how long did it take Southgate to make a sub when the game was going wrong? It took him way too long to make a change. And the first person I wanted to be subbed off out of anyone in that lineup was Mason Mount. He's the number 10. He's supposed to be linking things up, and he was a ghost throughout the entire game. And he was the only one out of the attacking 3 behind Kane to stay on the pitch. Now, I'm not saying Saka shouldn't have gone off and Sterling shouldn't have gone off. They were useless. But why were they useless? Maybe because the man in behind them's doing nothing and he's being overrun. The midfield was shocking. I think Declan Rice was a ghost. Bellingham, maybe got on the ball a bit more, but couldn't do much. It just felt like everyone didn't know what to do. Every time they got the ball, they didn't know where it was going. And it says a lot that when our best player was Maguire. Not saying Maguire isn't a bad player, but your best player shouldn't be a centre-back when you're playing against Christian Pulisic. Right? It's just no offence that you... No offence to LeBron James' soccer. They're bad. We are objectively better.
100%. It's kind of reminding me of the old Manchester United before you got Bruno Fernandes, when Harry Maguire was your main attacking outlet, just like linking everything up from the back because he was your best player at the time. And fast forward to now, it's kind of happening weirdly for England. It was such a bizarre performance. When Pulisic hit the bar, I just thought they're going to score before half time. 100%. McKennie should have scored as well. It was such a good chance. Fair play to the USA. They actually did have a good performance, but come on, the way we thrashed Iran, the way kind of everyone's building up England after that game, and the fact that we looked like favourites, it just seemed that once again Southgate was concentrating on the strengths of the other team way too much. And another point about Foden as well, right? You know, Pep Guardiola's making his substitutions and he needs a bit of creativity. He's got Jack Grealish or Phil Foden on the bench. And fair enough, Jack Grealish, £100 million player. 2 years ago, or after the Euros, get him on the pitch. But nowadays, he's not going to Jack Grealish. He's going straight to Foden. Like 100%, Foden is on that pitch over Grealish. But Southgate bizarrely thinks otherwise. It was horrific.
I mean, Mason Mount was really, really bad in the whole game. He was the worst performance, and yet I still think he's going to start in the next game. I think he's going to start.
Yes.
And you know what? I think you never know with football, really. You don't know if he's going to make a difference, but he will start because he is Gareth Southgate's man. He is the main man for Gareth Southgate. And I saw some quotes after the game, and it was something like we didn't feel like Foden had that attacking push to play in the midfield. I have no idea. I mean, you see Kane dropping back so much in the game. I know that's what he does quite often, but he was at times at like defensive midfield and even centre back. Like he was dropping back so much. I wouldn't have been that concerned if we played him in behind a striker. Let's say we play Foden false nine, or let's say we get Rashford on up front. But the fact that we just didn't change anything with Mason Mount is the main concern.
With Foden and everything, like I just thought, like it's so stupid. I mean, you mentioned the quote. I think what he went on to say was, I don't really see Foden. He doesn't really play centrally, and that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. Because yes, he does play centrally. He played as a false nine for City last season. Like he can play there. He can play cam. It's just the fact that he plays more on the wing now. It's like saying Saka can't play on the left because he plays on the right for Arsenal. No, he can. He just doesn't. It's so. He's a manager and he came out with that quote. I want to know what Phil Foden's thinking, because Phil Foden probably isn't going to have a go at him. But if you're Phil Foden and you've just heard the manager go, he can't play centrally, I'd put him to a side and go, do you watch me play football? Like, genuinely, it just proves everything. I'm sorry, but how clueless you have to be. How? Oh.
England, obviously, now it comes down to one game. We're most likely through, thanks to the 3 points against Iran and thanks to, obviously, the point against the USA. However, it's just not. It's not too convincing. I would have loved to absolutely smash this group, and I think we could have done it. However, there is actually still a chance that we don't go through. If we lose by, I think it's 4-0 or more than 4 goals, something like that, against Wales, we could actually. Yeah. So if the USA beat Iran by 5-0, and or if we lose by 4 goals and USA win, we actually might not go through. There's actually a chance against Wales. It's slim, but the fact that there's actually a chance, it's kind of just annoys me quite a lot. Yeah. With this Wales game, then obviously you've moaned about Mount and whatever, boys. But who would you start in Mount's position then, if you don't think he makes the cut? If you don't think he was good enough?
Foden.
Yeah.
Foden, absolutely.
Foden's not had a chance. The only minutes he's got is like 10 minutes against Iran, and the reason he did nothing is because we'd scored 5 at that point, and the game was bloody over. Naturally, he's not going to be as up for it. He's just going to be there to get minutes. If he's playing early on when something needs to happen, he's going to try and dictate the game a bit more. He's faster than Mount. He runs at defenders more. I think Mount is just very passive. And the thing is, when you win a game, Mount looks great because he keeps everything ticking. But when you are losing a game and passing it around the box, he's your worst enemy, because all he's going to do is not take any risks, and we're going to play awful as a result. And in that moment, you need someone like Foden who's going to try. Because realistically, the people who should lose the ball the most are the forwards, because they're trying stuff. And Mount is too focused on, I'll just pass back to Rice. That's not what he should be doing. And we need Foden to start. Other than that, I think I'd keep it relatively the same. Maybe, I think one issue I have is that Southgate's too terrified of not playing Harry Kane. Like, you saw it in the first game. He should have brought him off earlier. Only brought him off because he got injured. This game, he looked absolutely knackered and couldn't do anything throughout the game. And I think we needed Wilson up front. He's terrified of bringing Harry Kane off. Genuinely, the only way another striker gets any game time throughout the rest of the tournament is if he gets injured again.
Stuart Pearce made quite a good point on TalkSport. Sorry to cut you off there, John. I saw you about to go. But he said that for the game against Wales, just to keep players rested, he would rest Luke Shaw, Declan Rice, and Harry Kane, just to make sure that when we do go through to the knockouts, it is inevitable, that they are rested and they're fresh, ready to go. Jordan, would you put Marcus Rashford in place of any of them? Do you think he should make the side?
Yeah, I was literally about to say, I don't want to have a go at Mount too much, because I do think he is a good player.
Yeah.
And I do think he is a good creative player at times. But yeah, I don't. He just had a bad performance. I do agree that we should start Foden though, for one. Start Foden there. And I was going to say, I think Rashford didn't really get the chance to do anything because of that. Once again, because of Mason Mount in the game. I think because he didn't have the creativity behind him to get him the ball, he didn't really get to do much. I actually agree as well that I think we should rest some players. So, I would like to see Rashford start a game. I don't know if he will, but I would like to see it because I think he brings something into the team that can be quite key. Who goes out though is the only issue, because I don't really know if Southgate's got him there at the World Cup to play him as a striker or on the wing. I mean, it seems like he's subbing him on the wing, but yeah, I think putting him up front wouldn't be that bad. But then again, yeah, I just want to see him play. I guess that's the sort of Man United supporter side of me, but yeah, I think he can offer something, and I do think we should make some other changes. I think, I mean, I would say drop Luke Shaw just to give him a bit of a rest, because he just played constantly now. Yeah, but who comes in? That's the only question. With the defence, it is a case of who comes in. I would like to see Ben White get some minutes as well, but again, whether it's going to happen or not, I don't actually know. So
Got the nod from me and Isaac there for that Ben White shout, but I actually think Luke Shaw shouldn't be in the next starting 11 purely for his performance against the US. I don't think he was good enough. I think he kind of just looked a little bit aimless and just looked like he just looked weak, and I felt like the US could just penetrate him. He didn't know how to deal with their attacking players. And I know he was less convincing than Trippier, 100%. And whilst he has been good for us against Iran, and in the past, obviously, Gilberto Carlos, I'd actually like to see, if Walker's fit enough, I'd like to see Trippier shift across there, and perhaps Walker at right back, maybe Ben White at right back. But yeah, no, I agree. I would like to see Ben White in the side.
I'd argue you're being a bit harsh on Shaw there.
Yeah, I do think you were being a little bit harsh, but I think the whole defence was bad, other than Maguire, really. And Stones at times looked alright. I don't think Trippier was that great at all. I don't think Shaw was that great, but the only thing is, who do you drop Shaw for? And I mean, you pointed it out there, but I think we might move to a three at the back sort of system against Wales. Southgate going to old reliable.
What do you think Southgate would do for the Wales game? Because obviously, Iran sat back, soaked up the pressure, and literally just destroyed Wales in the counter attack because they didn't have a DM sitting there to try and break up those Iran attacks. Alan eventually came on for Ampadu, but I think just go at them. Just be as expressive as you want. Get Foden on the pitch, get Rashford on the pitch, get some pace in behind them, and just destroy them. And if you have to make a change with Kane, if it's not really working, bring Wilson on. Why not?
We won't do that though. That's the thing. How do you beat Wales? I mean, look at the other games. You know what I mean? Look at how the US played in the first half. Look at how Iran played for the majority of the game.
It's energy. Wales haven't got the legs, and whilst they do have that talent in their side with Bale, Allen, Ramsey, and a couple of others, the core part of their squad is actually ageing quite quickly, and they don't have the energy to keep up with those fast young teams. So yeah, I do think get the young boys on, get some pace thrown at them.
I mean, with our formation, like you've suggested, maybe going back to a 5, I think it's very predictable. I think we're going to play a 4. I think we're going to stick with the 4 for the whole group stage. But as soon as maybe quarters come round, we potentially get a tough draw. It's going to be 5 all the way until we get knocked out. And I think we have to play a 4. We have to play a 4 because I think Wales, they played a 5 in their first 2 games. It wasn't going well. They switched to a 4 too late in the USA to try and go for it, and that's when they conceded the 2 goals and got the red card. I think we have to go for a 4 because they're going to be going for it. They're going to be open at the back for the whole game. They're going to be playing like they're a goal down from the first minute. So we've got to put as many players in the attack as possible. We've got
Wales do that anyway. Wales do that anyway. Their midfield is Ramsey, Wilson, and Ampadu. So Ampadu should be the only one that's sitting, but Ampadu actually likes to get forward as well. So you've got your back three, then you've got your wing backs and your midfield that literally just all have gone forward, and then obviously the strikers. If we just go at them, they're done. They won't be able to solidify it. I think we should end on our score predictions for the Wales game. Why not? I think England will win. I think it'll be quite convincing. I don't see Wales score. Wales haven't scored against England since Euro 2016. And that's their only goal since they beat us in like a long time ago, like 1978, I think, when Mark Hughes scored for them. So it's been quite a while. We're definitely favourites. I'm gonna go 2-0 England.
I agree. I'm going 2-0 England as well. I do think we get a clean sheet, and I think Pickford actually goes for that Golden Glove award. I think a clean sheet. I think a fairly simple performance, and 2-0.
I don't know how we've all managed this, but I was thinking before anyone said a word, I was thinking 2-0. So I'll go 2-0 as well. I think clean sheet. I want to say 3, but like with the way we played against USA, I just can't see it. I think we probably get one in the first half, struggle to get a second throughout the first half. Early on in the second half, get the second. And once we get the second, it's game over, realistically. Wales will know they're out.
That's been the Footballing Questions reaction to England's 0-0 draw against the USA. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you after the Wales game.